Just, family fun. It's safe for the kids to run around, ride their bikes. Until I was 7, I lived in Long Branch. Well, back then they had the boardwalk. Do you remember? With the amusement park and miniature golf and the haunted mansion. Everything that you can remember. Yes. Anything else? I can't remember. It was very scary. I was 4. My Aunt Mary, you know who you are, took me into the haunted mansion, and probably I never saw a horror film after that. It was very scary. They had all the college kids from Monmouth University would play the zombies or the horror people. It was very scary. Yes. And then that burned to the ground. So now that's a very quiet area, but I heard they're rebuilding it.
The Church of the Presidents is a former Episcopal chapel on the Jersey Shore, and there were 7 United States presidents who worshiped there. And the 7 presidents, or they visited there when they were in the shore area. And there was Chester Arthur, and James Garfield, and Ulysses Grant, and Benjamin Harrison, and Rutherford Hayes, and William McKinley, and Woodrow Wilson. Wilson had his summer house, which is now Wilson Hall of Monmouth University in West Long Branch. But those were the presidents that worshiped there.
When visitors were coming to Long Branch in the 1820s, it was considered a rather godly place. At the American Hotel, grace was said at each meal. Hymns were sung in the evening, and there were regular prayer meetings. By the 1840s, the town had begun to take on a bit of a faster pace. Card playing, dice, billiards, and gambling were becoming more popular activities. Many of the modest farmhouses along the coast were being replaced by large hotels and boarding houses. In 1846, the Morris House opened along 6 acres of Ocean Avenue. It was later renamed the Mansion House and expanded to double its capacity. The United States Hotel opened in 1852 and featured ocean view piazzas, a New York City chef, and a house orchestra. The Howland House was considered the most stylish hotel on the shore. Built in Italian villa style, it was a favorite of Philadelphians. The Atlantic Hotel was built in 1861, further north along the bluff. And on Shrewsbury Inlet stood the Ocean House. This was the first step toward a new era of bringing luxury hotels to Long Branch. Guests would promenade along the beach or Ocean Avenue, despite the fact that it was little more than a narrow wagon track with gravel sidewalks. Long Branch was becoming a salty-aired retreat for New Yorkers in the same way that Cape May was for Philadelphians. By 1864, it was becoming more popular than any of its competitors. Brass bands played on the lawns of hotels. Carriages swirled in the dust along Ocean Avenue. There were tents where pop and gingerbread were sold, shooting galleries, and hundreds of red, white, and blue flags and pennons waved from the hotels. Fashionable ladies strolled along the beach, collecting shells, brightly colored pebbles, and dried starfish. Every big hotel held dances balls, and grand parties. You didn't have to look hard around the branch to find lovely young maidens, radiant in diamonds and roses, charming bachelors, dashing belles, and bewitching young damsels. When President Ulysses S. Grant arrived in the summer of 1869, donned his linen duster, and lit a cigar, he brought the eyes of the nation to the resort. Long Branch, which had been merely fashionable, now became spectacular. Hotel registers also boasted the signatures of Presidents James A. Garfield, Rutherford B. Hayes, Benjamin Harrison, and later Woodrow Wilson. In 1869, Colonel John Chamberlain and J. McB. Davison purchased a 120-acre tract of land about 3 miles west of Long Branch. They laid out a half-mile horse racing track. A year later, the property was sold to new owners, who built stables, grandstands, and a clubhouse on the grounds. The first race at Monmouth Park was held on July 4th, 1870. The grandstand was described as one of the most magnificent in the country, capable of seating several thousand people, and designed so that the horse racing could be seen all the way around without having to rise from one seat. A calmer side of Long Branch coexisted along its southern shore. The Elberon section was sarcastically referred to as ugly Victorian mansions on a barren coast. Financiers and dignitaries gathered in Elberon to sort out their business matters, while the women took long walks with their parasols along hydrangea-lined streets. While part of Long Branch danced the night away, vacationers in Elberon slept on fine, lavender-scented linens. Stretching for 5 miles along Ocean Avenue and sitting atop a bluff bordering the Atlantic Ocean, steep wooden staircases led down to the beach below, where waves rolled in and bathhouses were placed along the narrow beach. Out across the horizon, hundreds of steamers could be seen heading southbound from New York Harbor, leaving their long black smoke lines against the sky. People from all walks of life gathered on the beach, and sea bathing was the social activity of its day. In 1868, the New York Daily Tribune wrote, "For no other purpose than to exhibit oneself." The restrictions against mixed bathing were long gone. At nearby Pleasure Bay, the wealthy kept their yachts moored along Shrewsbury Inlet. If visitors wished, they could picnic there, attend a clam bake, or just sit and view the sailboats from shore. In 1879, the Ocean Pier was built opposite the Ocean Hotel. 600 feet long and made of tubular iron. Underneath, beachgoers could find bathing cabins. The promenade deck above was covered with bright-colored awnings and illuminated by large gas fixtures on tall ornamental posts. A stroll up and down would find benches and refreshment booths lining the pier. Regular excursion boats from New York City used the ocean pier as a dock until it was washed away in 1881. One of those ships was the massive 350-foot Plymouth Rock. In 1881, the Iron Pier was erected, running parallel to Ocean Avenue before sprawling out over the sea. After being cut in two by a tugboat in 1893, the outer quarter of the pier was rebuilt with wood. It continued to operate for another decade. The opulence and wealth that was gathering in Long Branch led to big-time gambling. Men spent their days making and losing fortunes on Wall Street, then came down to the branch for relaxation and a game or two of chance. Lavish, extravagant clubs were set up for these wealthy big city gamblers. Phil Daly's place was known as the Pennsylvania Club and was located on the southwest corner of Brighton and Ocean Avenue. Roulette, faro, dice, and card games were played under the two domes of the posh Pennsylvania Club, where $5 to $10 million were wagered during an average season. In 1888, at Monmouth Park, a steel grandstand was erected, reportedly the largest track stand in the world. It seated 10,000 spectators and included retiring rooms, lounges, and bars. Designed to surpass anything in the United States or Europe, nearly 40 stables could accommodate 1,000 horses. One predominant figure at the track in those days was Diamond Jim Brady. When the beautiful actress Lillian Russell entered on his arm, the crowd would all but part and bow as the couple moved grandly to their box at Monmouth Park. Many noted performers, including actress Lily Langtry, could also be seen vacationing at Long Branch.